What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the Marvel edition of the Ragin Nation show. This is just a web series where we're talking about all things matter to me in the world of Marvel films. This is episode number 79, and this is the episode that you guys have been waiting for, because in this episode we're going to talk about who is officially cast as Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. This morning they made the big announcement of who's going to be playing Peter Parker. And you know what? We've been waiting for a very, very long time, because there's been all these rumors of who's in the shortlist. And, well, the original shortlist consisted of Nat Wolff, Asa Butterfield, Tom Holland, Timothy Chalamet, Liam James, and Charlie Rowe. Now, I was rooting for Asa Butterfield because, well, I've seen his work, and I really like his look, and he really looks like a teenage Peter Parker. He has the look for a younger Peter Parker. Previously, we had adults playing a teenager, and that would be Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. But Marvel Studios wants a teenager to play a teenage role. Alright? So, I thought Asa Butterfield looked the part, and I really didn't care for any of the other actors just because I've never seen any of their work, or at least I've seen some of their work, but I thought that Asa Butterfield embodied the Peter Parker look more. Alright? But I can't believe it's not Butterfield, because it's not Asa Butterfield. It is, in fact, Tom Holland. Tom Holland, who starred in The Impossible and also will be starring in the upcoming In the Heart of the Sea, is officially Peter Parker. Let's wrap that around your head. Tom Holland will be Peter Parker, who's going to be, of course, Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War. That will be his first introduction to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then he's going to appear in, of course, his own solo film, Spider-Man, the First Avenger. And it's possible that he's going to appear in Infinity War and also future Spider-Man sequels. Okay? So, most likely his contract from Marvel Studios states that he will be appearing in at least 3 films, because they want to lock in their actors. Okay? And well, this is going to be our Peter Parker. So there you have it. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, originally, you know what? I really didn't care whether it was Tom Holland or Charlie Rowe. Those were the last 2 short runners. Okay, or rather, shortlist front runners for casting as Peter Parker. Okay, I didn't really care because I've never seen any work, and you know, I thought they both looked the same. You know, they just looked like average teenage kids, right? And you know, I was rooting for Asa Butterfield. I didn't get it, so you know what? It could go to either one of them. But then after checking out Tom Holland's Instagram account, now I have more hopes. Because it looks like he's really passionate about the part, and he's doing his homework. And what I mean by that is, well, check out some of his videos that he posted on Instagram. Because he posted some videos of him doing some flips, some acrobatics. He runs up along a tree, does a back flip, he does some front flips, he does some side flips. It's pretty cool. And it looks like these are some of the things he did to audition for the role of Peter Parker. Alright, so you can see the dedication. Maybe Charlie Rowe didn't do the same thing when he was auditioning, but at least Tom Holland got that one leg up because he wanted to promote his agility and skills to the studios. So maybe that's why he got the part, but I'm at least impressed by what he can do. Because a lot of the times the actors, they go through this training after they're cast. Well, you know what? Looks like Tom Holland, he started training himself for the part, alright? And that's before even being cast. So this is our Spider-Man that we're going to see. Now picture this. Tom Holland standing next to Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. And he's going to be a part of their team, alright? It's a little bit, it's going to look a little bit funny to have a teenage kid as part of the Avengers, but hey, that's the story. So there you have it. Now, speaking of Spider-Man, who's going to be directing the solo Spider-Man film? Well, we also have that director right here. In the same announcement of who's going to be playing Peter Parker, we got the same, another announcement, and that is John Watts. Director John Watts will be directing Spider-Man, the First Avenger. And I've never seen any of John Watts' work before. He directed a couple of films, and before that he directed some TV series episodes, and then before that he directed a couple of short films. Now his 2 most recent films were Clown and Cop Car. Clown being a horror film and Cop Car being a thriller starring Kevin Bacon. And they both have mixed reviews. And I'm not particularly sure why the studios decided to go with John Watts, but recently I've been noticing a lot of these big studios and their big films. They want directors who have tackled smaller films, not necessarily directors who have directed really big films before, but they want to look for directors who have directed smaller films that they thought were had more character-driven pieces, all right? And, I appreciate that. I totally respect that. And to give these directors these opportunities to direct these big films, these directors need to start from somewhere. And you don't start off, like doing something big. You got to start off, in a very, in a more humble manner, right? So, I really appreciate that, and I'll be really curious. I'm really curious to see what John Watts is going to bring to the table with his vision, all right? So that's what's happening, all right? John Watts will be directing Spider-Man, the very first Avenger, all right? Now, speaking of who's going to appear in another big Marvel film, not necessarily a film from Marvel Studios, but 20th Century Fox, we're not sure whether or not Hugh Jackman is going to reprise his role as Logan in XMen Apocalypse. We're just not sure. There's no official confirmation for that. We just know that he's going to be back for the third Wolverine solo film. So we know that much. But will he be appearing in X-Men Apocalypse? No official confirmation, but there are a couple of articles which are stating that his appearance has been confirmed with a question mark. And I'm thinking that's kind of stupid, because how can you say that something is confirmed and have a question mark at the end of that sentence? All right? Well, here's the deal. X-Men Apocalypse is filming right now, and in that very same city, there's a custom leather maker, okay? A custom leather jacket maker or a custom backpack maker, and apparently this custom backpack maker, he is making a backpack that is custom made for Hugh Jackman, okay? And that shop just happens to be in the same city where X-Men Apocalypse is filming. So that led to being a lead as to whether or not he's going to appear in X-Men Apocalypse. He said that Hugh Jackman wanted it. Okay, he didn't exactly say it's for his Logan character. He just said that Hugh Jackman wanted it. Okay, and it could be worn by Hugh Jackman as a personal belonging, or it could be worn by Hugh Jackman as part of his role a piece of wardrobe as part of his role in X-Men Apocalypse. So you know what? I can't even tell you if that's even a confirmation, but that is at least a possibility, or at least it's a hint. Okay, so I can't say much more than that. All right. Anyways, speaking of upcoming Marvel films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we got to talk about Thor Ragnarok. And according to the news, Marvel Studios wants Kenneth Branagh to direct Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is the third installment in the Thor solo film franchise. And, well, Kenneth Branagh directed the very first Thor film, which I thought was a pretty good film. I actually really enjoyed it. It was a very character-driven piece. And then there was another director who directed Thor: The Dark World. That would be Alan Taylor. Alan Taylor, who's also director for Terminator Genesis. I actually liked Thor: The Dark World more than Thor. I thought that Thor was a good film, but I thought Thor: The Dark World was an even better film. So I'm not sure why Marvel Studios wanted to get Kenneth Branagh as opposed to Alan Taylor. Maybe it's because of scheduling issues. Maybe Alan Taylor has other contractual obligations with other studios, but for the most part, we are at least getting a Thor film, possibly getting a Thor film from a decent director who knows the material. Okay, that would be Kenneth Branagh. Now, it's not 100% confirmed that Kenneth Branagh is going to be directing Thor Ragnarok, but, when Marvel Studios ask you to direct a film, you don't say no, unless, of course, you already have some other contractual obligations with other studios, all right? So that's a possibility, and you know what? If Kenneth Branagh is coming back to direct another installment in the Thor franchise. I'm happy because, you know what, Thor was good, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to make an attempt to make it even better. Okay, that's what the studios would want, all right? So I'm happy about that, all right? So the last thing we're going to talk about in the Marvel edition of the Rage Nation show is Hulk. Okay, we know that Hulk is going to appear in, Infinity War, I guess? Actually, we don't know. But we do know that Mark Ruffalo has a 7-film contract deal with Marvel Studios, okay? That's a lot of films, all right? So he already appeared in what is it? The Avengers. He appeared in Age of Ultron. He's possibly going to appear in Civil War. He's possibly going to appear in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And he's possibly going to appear in one of the 2 or both of the Avengers Infinity War films. All right? So what about that solo film? What about that solo film that all the fans want? Well, we already know that there is a rights issue with Universal Pictures. Okay, Universal Pictures, if you don't already know, was the studio behind the Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton. But it was still a film that was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, so what up with that? All right, so right now all we know is that Universal Pictures has the contract, has the rights to produce and distribute solo Hulk films. So if they were to make a solo Hulk film, it would still be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it will be distributed by Universal Pictures. It wouldn't have the Marvel Studios banner under it. All right. So what does that mean for the future of the solo Hulk films? Does that mean Universal Pictures is gonna make them and then still have it under the Marvel Cinematic Universe? All right. Well, that's not the case. All right. So recently, there's been a couple of reports which stated the actual agreement, and that is Marvel Studios is allowed to produce solo Hulk films. They're allowed to do that, but it's got to be distributed under Universal Pictures banner, or under their company rather. All right. So it'll essentially be a collaboration between the two. Kind of like the Sony and Marvel deal with SpiderMan. A little bit different, but it's also, you know what, to accurately describe it, it's more like the Paramount and Marvel Studios collaboration with the Phase 1 films. Now, if you don't already know, Paramount Pictures was actually the studio behind Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Captain America, and also Thor. Before the Marvel Studios took all the properties back to their own studio. Okay, so that's what can happen if they want to make a solo Hulk film. Marvel can produce it, but it's not going to be 100% their property. It'll be distributed by Universal Pictures. Okay. Now, what does that really mean for the audience? Not a whole lot, to be completely honest. It doesn't mean anything to us because we just want to watch a movie. But for the companies, for the studios, it really all comes down to money. All right, it's gonna be how the money is divided, how the revenue is divided. All right, and of course, Marvel Studios, you know, they're a very powerful company. And when you talk about a company with a lot of power, what's the next thing they want? More power. Okay, so they want it all. Okay, they just want that agreement to run its course, have the contract expire, and then finally they can take the contract back, or rather take the rights back. Okay, because essentially Universal Pictures, they have to make another Hulk film. All right, they have to make another Hulk film, and if they don't before the contract expires, well, then the rights revert back to Marvel. Which, you know, I don't know the exact amount of years from now, but perhaps that's what Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios is waiting for. Okay, so that's what's happening. All right, there is the possibility that we still can get a solo Hulk film, but for the most part, it looks like Mark Ruffalo reprising his role as the Hulk will only happen in other Marvel films, such as Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy sequel, and of course an Avengers sequel. So there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. What do you guys think about Tom Holland as Peter Parker? Why don't you check out those Instagram photos, or rather those videos. I'm gonna leave the link on the description box below to his Instagram account. You can check them out. And as always, if you like this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, @RaginNation. My name's Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. He has control over the velociraptors, or he tames them, or he just knows how to communicate with them, which makes him a badass. Okay? So his character